Good morning investors. In the previous video we talked about SBI long duration fund. Today we are going to talk about SBI Magnum Gilt Fund. But before we start this video, now we are continuing the SBI net segment. After that we will go long and long. And before that, let me introduce myself. I am MD Imtiaz Alam, an AMFI registered mutual fund distributor and an IRDAI licensed insurance advisor. So whatever the help you need regarding mutual funds or insurance, you could contact me in the given number in the description box. So today we are starting SBI Magnum Gilt Fund. It is a medium to long term capital appreciation product. So if we see the returns since inception, so after whatever the date this fund was started, so from then on it got something close to 7.98% of returns. So the risk rating here is moderate. AUM or asset under management is 11,322 crores and the NAV as of 5th September is rupees 65.9962 and in one day it gave close to 0.65% returns. So if we see here, the fund is telling us that it is suitable for long term, so we could say that it is suitable for 3 and more years. Minimum initial lump sum amount, so if we want to invest one time in this fund, so minimum we need to invest close to 5,000 rupees or minimum 5,000 rupees investment is needed. And if we want to do SIP or monthly investments, or we could say weekly or daily investments, then we need to invest a minimum of 500 rupees. The age of this fund is 24 years, so it is a very old fund. So let's see what is there. We will click here in view details and now it is loading. SBI Magnum Gilt Fund. It is a debt fund and it is also an open-ended fund. So let's see what is the objective of this fund. To provide returns to the investors generated through investments in government securities issued by the central government and or the state government. So what this fund does, it invests your money in the instruments or in anything in the government securities of central government or the state government. So it only invests in government securities. So we could say that it is less risky. So if we see the launch date of this product, it is 31st December 2000. So from year 2000 it is going on, and if we see the exit load, it is nil, so no exit load. Expected ratio is 0.94, and if we see the benchmark, it is ACC index. So as of today or as of 31st August 2025, the amount asset under management is 11,322 crores. And if we see the returns, it is 7.98%. So if we see the last year returns, it was 7.32%. If we see the returns of last 3 years, it was 8.09%, and for the last 5 years, the return was very less, 6%. And we have already seen that minimum lump sum investments is 5,000 rupees and minimum SIP amount is 500 rupees. And after that, if we see someone has invested, let's say rupees 1,000, rupees 5,000 rupees in this fund, and again he wants to do any lump sum amount, then he could invest in the multiples of 1,000 and after that 1. So 1,000 rupees minimum he needs to invest after that. So the second investment. Now if we see the riskometer of this fund, if we see the riskometer of this benchmark, the riskometer here is moderate. So it is moderately risky, and the riskometer of this fund is also moderately risky. So it is in line with the benchmark. Now we have already seen the investment objective to provide returns to the investor generated through investments in government securities issued by the central government and or the state government. So it only invests in government securities, either it could be issued by the central government or by the state government. And what is the investment strategy? Investment and in central and or state government securities are considered to be free of credit risk. So here it is considered that if we invest, if anybody, let's say anybody invest in central or government, state government securities, it is free of any credit risk. So the money will not go to hell. So it is not going to go like it is not going to disappear. But however, the aim of the portfolio will be to make capital gains by actively managing interest rate risk. However, there is a risk that you will get a low interest rate here. So whatever the case, let's see. Till now we have got a very good returns, and actually whoever the person who invests in debt funds, they does not chase high returns, they chase stability here. SBI mutual funds always invest a minimum of 80% in large cap stocks. So if you see the portfolio breakdown of this breakup of this fund as of 31st August 2025, so here we will just increase it. Government of India has 90%, close to 90% here, and the other state government of Maharashtra has 5.95%. There is close to 1.87% of cash, hard cash, State government of Karnataka has 1.41% of this money. State government of Andhra Pradesh has 0.65%, and this is the portfolio breakdown. So all these central government has 90% and other governments has very less amount. So these money is given to them or invested in their instruments so that the investors get a good return or get a stable returns. If we see the performance of this fund in line with the index or anything, so here you could see SBI Magnum Gilt Fund gave a return of 7.32%. However, the SEC index gave a return of 8.83%, and the additional benchmark, that is CRISIL 10-year gilt index, it gave a 9.88%. So it is clearly underperforming the benchmark as well as the additional benchmark. In the 3-year segment also, it has underperformed. 3-year it got 8.09%, the SEC index gave 8.84%, and the additional benchmark gave 8.7%. So there also it did an underperformance, and if you see the 5-year returns, it gave close to 6% returns. SEC index gave 6.1%. So here it is somewhere in line, but the additional benchmark did a very bad performance. It gave us close to 5.33% returns. So in 5-year segment, we could say that SBI Magnum Gilt Fund has given us a good return. Now, if we see the value of our investment, let's say we invested 1,000 rupees before 1 year in this fund. So 10,000 rupees before 1 year in this fund. So after a year, you would get close to 10,732 rupees. If you had invested in the benchmark, then you would get close to 10,883 rupees. And if you had invested in the additional benchmark, that is CRISIL 10-year gilt index, you would get close to 10,988 rupees. In the 3-year segment, if we see that 10,000 rupees would have become 12,636. In the benchmark, it would have become 12,895, and in the additional benchmark, that is CRISIL 10-year gilt index, it would have become 12,848 rupees. Now, if we see, let's say you had invested in before 5 years, then your money would have become 13,384 rupees. The SEC index would have become 30,447 rupees. And in the additional benchmark, that is CRISIL 10-year gilt index, it will be lower, 12,966 rupees. Now let's say you invested 10,000 rupees before, let's say before 24 years or whenever the fund had started in 2000, year 2000, 31st December, then your money would become 66,158 rupees. So it would be like 6 times, your money would have grown 6 times. So it is a debt fund, so the growth is definitely less, but you could say good growth when we compare it to a debt fund. And these are all the documents that you would get. If you want to invest here, you could contact me. My number is 736308480, or you could visit my office, which is in West Bengal, Chatra, and my PIN code is 731238. So if you want to invest in this mutual fund, you could contact me. I will give the email ID in the description box. So whatever you need, you could get me there. So these are all the documents you could get. So let's see. So what the thing is that I cannot tell you or I cannot advise you anything in this YouTube video. So there are some guidelines, community guidelines in YouTube. So if you want to know more about this fund, or if you want anything, any extra thing you need to understand, or you need to invest, you want to invest in any product, let's say you want to invest in let's say debt, hybrid fund or equity fund, or you want to invest in like passive solutions, ETF or index funds, or you want to invest in children benefit funds or retirement funds, then you could contact me. My mobile number and the email ID will be provided in the description box, so you could contact me there. And the same mobile number is also my WhatsApp number, you could contact me there. There we will go on a Google Meet, like let's say one-to-one Google Meet, and I will give you whatever the advice you need. And if you need any help regarding insurance, let's say health insurance, 2-wheeler insurance or 4-wheeler insurance, you could contact me there. I will give you all the advices, whatever you need. So that's all for today's video. If you want to invest it here, you can contact me. Thank you for watching this video. Hope to see you in the next video.